Today I'm going to teach you how to make a 2x2 flush piston door. For example, I've built this machine here. You can use any input, but I chose to use a redstone torch. I'm going to place a redstone torch here, and nothing's going to happen. But when I break it, the piston door will open up, make a clear hallway, and close behind me. The wall on the other side, as I can go back and show you, is now completely flush, and we'll make sure that no one could discover your secret base. My name is QuickCountry40. This is Sonar Productions, and let's take off. Okay, so the basics of a piston door is basically what's going to happen here is you're going to have some pistons placed in a similar manner to this, and what will happen is you essentially are going to fire these two pistons, which will push a set of blocks and a set of pistons forward. Once you have that, you can fire these two pistons and they'll push those blocks forward. Then you can have a wall around that, and the piston door will open up a hallway, similar like this. There's a couple of issues and a bunch of different ways of doing it. So today I'm going to teach you how I came up with my personal best way of doing it. So we're going to start off obviously with the actual piston setup that I just showed you. That is a 2x2 area right here, and that will be powered by a hard power, this redstone dust here, hard powering this block, which will subsequently power this piston and this piston. This repeater here makes it so that these fire after the circuit down here, which I'll talk about later. This redstone dust right here will hard power this block, and this repeater will receive power from this block. That way we can transfer signal downwards. Then up here we'll get this top row of pistons here, just in case something wonky goes on with timing, and it'll also power these two pistons once they've been extended. These repeaters are once again like this one to make sure that the timing goes correctly. Then coming down here, we've got this repeater going into this orange block. This orange block is to represent that this must be a full block, or because basically if you are working with a hallway here, you might have some kind of design in your hallway, but this orange block must be a full block in your hallway, or the redstone signal won't go from this block down to this redstone and into the pistons, and you'll end up just kind of, having this top row working. So once you have this circuit down, which I'll explain how to build later, you're going to want to put the next part of the circuit here, which is a pulse extender. A pulse extender and then an inverter. So what a pulse extender does is it will take any pulse. So for instance, let's say a button, and I push in the button, and even though the button is back out, it'll keep this system going for a while. Kind of hard to explain, but you'll see how I build it later. Now, because of how these pistons need to be extended, there needs to be a constant redstone signal going to them. So the best way to do that is with a pulse inverter. What that does is it's essentially usually just a redstone torch, and then a block power, and then something powering that block to make the redstone torch turn off. Once the redstone torch is turned off, all the redstone signal will also turn off. So the pulse extender is essentially keeping the door open for a required amount of time for you to walk through, instead of keeping the door closed for a required amount of time, because that's what the inverter here does. Then after you do that, you'll most likely be adding a circuit similar to this green wool here, which is just going to take a wire from the pulse extender and take it over to whatever wall, so you can actually access your door. So you'll see here that this will actually open. If we didn't have this here, and we only had, this button, then it would only open from the inside and we would not be able to open it from the outside. So this green wool is my demonstration for how you're going to be able to get a redstone signal forward. There's probably many other ways to do it. So then this is what you saw in the intro as my actual demonstration. I changed a few things up here to use the redstone key instead of a button, but it's the same idea. And then sadly, if you do want to keep it an only like 4-block long hallway, then you're going to have to deal with the 1 block of overhang here with this pulse extender, unless you want to make the machine taller, or you want to do something similar to that. So this is generally the space that the machine will take up. The polished andesite here is assumed to be a wall. So these are all solid blocks right here that you shouldn't need to dig out if you're building this in a cave. So you can take a peek here and pause the video, and these stone blocks here will allow you to count the space you kind of need. After that, I think we're going to get on to the build, so good luck. Okay, so for the build, you're going to need some redstone dust, a redstone repeater, a redstone torch, a redstone comparator, block of redstone, sticky pistons, a block to make your wall out of, and some temporary blocks, as well as to actually organize your circuits. Some assorted colors. For this, I used blue for my main circuit, gray for my pulse extender, green for my activation line, and orange for blocks that have to be full blocks so that they can transfer redstone and are inside the wall. So let's get to the build. Okay, first step is that we're going to place 4 sticky pistons like so. Place 2 sticky pistons like that. And do the same thing on the other side. Now that we have that in place, you can feel free to add blocks here, but you don't need to. Next, we're going to place a redstone dust here and a redstone repeater here. Pull that to 4 ticks. Do the same on the other side. Next step is that we're going to go on top here and place a block across all the way to make this kind of shape. Next, we're going to take a redstone repeater and place 1 here and turn it to 3 ticks, and here and turn it to 3 ticks. Next, you're going to fill out all the other blocks in with redstone. Next step is you're going to take a temporary block and place 1 there. You're going to count down from that, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then you're going to take a sticky piston and place it facing upwards like this, and another one like that. Then you're going to put on top of both of those redstone blocks. You can destroy your temporary blocks. Next, you can place a temporary block here, and a permanent block here and here. Then break your temporary block and put redstone on top of both of them. Repeat that on the other side. Now is when you introduce those orange wool blocks, so you're going to place 1 here and 1 here. Once you've done that, you can look at the edge of this redstone here and place a blue block right there and a wool block right there. Once that's done, you can place a redstone repeater at 1 tick and another redstone repeater at 1 tick. After you've done that, you can look down and crouch and place a wool block right there and a wool block right there. Then another one attached to those corners. Once you've done that, you can run a redstone line up this way. Now that you've done that, you've completed the main circuit. So to add the pulse extender, you're going to add 2 temporary blocks here, 1 gray wool on top, and 5 gray wool like this. Then you can destroy the temporary blocks. Now that you've done that, you can place a redstone comparator facing into the block, as well as 3 redstone like this. Then you can turn around and place a redstone comparator facing out like this, and a redstone torch at the end. This will power the whole system. Once you're done with that, you can add a connecting wire. So easiest way to do that is to place a redstone green wool like so, and then another one on the edge of this redstone dust and on the edge of this redstone dust. Once you've done that, run a line over top. Now anytime this redstone dust gets powered, it'll power the pulse extender, therefore turning off the entire machine and allowing you to walk through. With that, you've completed the entire machine. Now the only step left is to decorate your machine. You make sure you add a hallway on the other side that's a couple blocks long at the very least to allow your players to go through, like so. With that, you can add the addition of your bunker, and this is the overhang I talked about earlier. You can to fix this, you can either make your hallway 1 block longer, or make your roof at this level. Either that, or you can take this pulse extender and move it a singular block up, and therefore you would have to change this green wool from being here to being here. Now you know how to make a 2x2 flush piston door in 1.19. I hope you trick quite a few people with these doors. They're really fun to play with. I've been Quite Conjure 40 from Zoonet Productions, and keep burning.